Priyadarshini Academy's chairman, Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani, and founder and chairman emeritus, Mr. Nanik Rupani, to escort our dignitaries to the dais. Our guest of honor, Mr. Suresh Prabhu.
Very moment, blessed by this moment.
Our award winners, Dr. A.S. Kiran Kumar from ISRO, Dr. Frank Jürgen Richter, Dr. Uri Shahani, Ms. Juhi Chawla Mehta, if she's here already, Mr. Anshu Gupta, and I know some of the others are on the way. Our special invitee, Ms. Afreen Rachel Vaz. Okay, from the Academy, I see Dr. Mashelkar. Please join us on stage. Mr. Murli Adnani, Mr. Nayan Patel, Mr. Prabodh Thakkar, Mr. Neeraj Bajaj. Please join us on stage. All right, before we proceed, I want to mention that the Academy lost its very dear friend and supporter, Mr. P.P. Chhabria, chairman of the Finolex Group, in May this year. We're also very saddened by yesterday's militant attack in Uri, where 17 soldiers were martyred defending our country's borders so that the rest of us could sleep peacefully at night. As a tribute to them all, may I request you to please stand and observe a 1-minute silence. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please be seated. To initiate the afternoon's proceedings, may I request Mr. Suresh Prabhu and Mr. Gadkari, if he's made it in already, I don't know if he has, to please light the ceremonious lamp and invoke the blessings of the higher power that guides all of us. Thank you so much. On behalf of Priyadarshini Academy, I, Reena Rupani, would like to welcome all of you to our Global Awards presentation ceremony. Monday is supposed to be the most stressful day of the week. Life gives us many reasons to be sad, but it also gives us many reasons to celebrate. Today, we celebrate the completion of 32 successful years under the leadership of our awesome twosome, Founder Chairman Emeritus Nanik Rupani and Chairman Niranjan Hiranandani. Let me begin with a brief background. Priyadarshini Academy was established in 1984 as a socio-cultural and educational organization. The Academy provides educational assistance to deserving and needy students, offers opportunities to upcoming artists in the field of classical music and dance, presents literary awards annually in 4 languages, and spreads age-old Indian wisdom to an international audience through the publication of ancient Indian treatises. Priyadarshini has held a host of activities over the years which have been of tremendous benefit to society. The Academy's biennial Global Awards program that you are witnessing today is an event of world significance which honors outstanding contributions of national and global dignitaries in various disciplines. The Academy is extremely fortunate to have the highly charismatic and debonair real estate tycoon Niranjan Hiranandani as its chairman. Is he in the room yet? Okay, he's waiting to receive Mr. Gadkari, so I'm going to move on. I'd like to call upon the person who is the heart and soul of Priyadarshini. He has nurtured the Academy throughout its 32-year history with tremendous zeal and passion. He may want to have let go of Priyadarshini by handing over the reins to Mr. Hiranandani, but Priyadarshini will never let go of him. Please welcome the Academy's founder and Chairman Emeritus, Mr. Nanak Rupani, with a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Reena. Mr. Gadkari should be here in another 2 minutes. He has already passed Air India building. I think Niranjan Hiranandani is waiting to receive him. As you know, we have always started all our functions on time from last 32 years. We want to keep that tempo on. And I welcome you on behalf of Priyadarshini Academy. It is my proud privilege to welcome you. I'm sure Niranjan will also welcome all of you. Our distinguished chief guest, Mr. Gadkari, who will be here in another 2 minutes. Our guest of honor, Suresh Prabhu. And Piyush Goyal, he has been in Delhi. He has a meeting with the Prime Minister. So he said, is there any way to change time? I said, we can't change the time. In last 32 years, we have never changed the time, venue, and the place has always been the same. So we would, I think he has come, yeah. We have with us Afreen Waz, who has been Miss India last year. Please give her a big hand. Distinguished awardees, dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries in the audience, distinguished members of foreign consulates, overseas Indian dignitaries. Please give a big hand to Juhi Chawla ji has just come. Please give her a big hand. Mr. Gadkari has come. Please give him a big hand. Mr. Gadkari is here. Distinguished, I think Niranjan Hiranandani will speak after me, and I will continue. Members of Advisory Committee, ladies and gentlemen, I am extremely happy and overwhelmed to see all of you assembled here for Priyadarshini Academy 32 Anniversary Global Awards Function. Our chief guest and special guest of honors have been very kind to us and have associated with the Academy for many, many years. And they have always been a great source of inspiration and strength to us. Nitin Gadkari, he is a very, very dear friend. I am fortunate to be his friend. I was introduced to him by late Shri Balasaheb Thackeray, who was a very dear friend of us. But I would say that he and I had some relation in the past life. Gadkari ji, some relation in the past life. Whenever I've asked him to come to our function, he has never said no. He has always been here. I think all of us present here know that he is doing a commendable job by building roads, ports, and other infrastructure projects at a super jet speed. I don't think any minister in past has reached the speed what he has. Earlier it was 3 kilometers a day. Now it is 22 kilometers. New roads are made every day. I had an opportunity to travel with him to Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, and there I admired him. He said, I want to do something. He had just become a minister. And after that, I have seen whatever he touched turns into a gold. I do not know how many hours he keeps for himself and how many hours he gives to his sleep. We just went to see him in Delhi. He said, come on, have a breakfast with me. And at the same time, when he was a breakfast, he was also preparing for question answers. All the secretaries were around him. So how he managed the time, he can do 10 things at a time. Really, it's a very rare a person of Gadkari ji. I am proud to have a friend who has been caring and has been sparing a valuable time to this academy. I would like to put on record my sincere thanks and gratitude to Mr. Suresh Prabhu. Whatever Priyadarshini Academy has achieved, major contribution has been from Suresh Prabhu. Major contribution from Suresh Prabhu. I told him, Suresh ji, you have to be on 19th September. I don't think he has missed any function of 19th September. Always he has been with us, whether he was in chair or not. So whatever success he is, I think really I owe to him. He taught us to dream big, think big, do big. We would have never reached to the prime ministers and presidents of different countries who have been awarded. It is only because of him. Last time when the Japanese prime minister was selected, he said he will not be there and you have to be in Delhi to give him an award. We were really, I was saying, oh my God, how the prime minister of Japan will meet us. But when we mentioned Suresh Prabhu, he said, oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. So this is the goodwill he is enjoying. I'm sure he will do wonders in railways. It is only because of foresight and his confidence he is built in us. He is an unassuming, down-to-earth, but man with a golden heart. I have no words to thank him. Sureshji, I think in future also, on this day, you will always be with us. Please give him a big hand. Priyadarshini Academy Awards were instituted to recognize individuals from outstanding contribution in different fields. The service rendered by them cannot be described in words. The Academy is very proud honoring these luminary all these years. Mr. Anshu Gupta, Dr. A.S. Kiran Kumar, Katrina Kaif will be joining us very soon. Juhi Chawla, Dr. Venki Ramakrishnan, Dr. Frank Richter, and Dr. Uri Shani. All the awardees have done marvelous work and extraordinary service to humanity and society in respective field of activities. They have brightened many lives and brought changes in India and abroad. Dr. Mashelkar, the chairman, and his team of members of Global Awards Committee have put in tremendous effort in identifying and selecting these individuals in their chosen field. I am sure my daughter Reena Rupani will do full justice in introducing them. They have honored us by accepting our awards, and all of them are institutions by themselves. In last 32 years, Priyadarshini Academy continues to stand as a true example of how social, cultural, educational organizations should function. Through its name, Priyadarshini Academy adopted motto, service to humanity is the best work of life. The academy, which was started in 1984-85 from scratch with hardly any funds, continues to help thousands of students to fulfill their dreams in education. The academy gives scholarship to the tune of rupees 30 to 35 lakhs every year. We feel proud to see many of the students who have become doctors, engineers, architects, and many have achieved success in their chosen field. The academy publication Kautilya Artha Shastra, The Way of Financial Management and Economic Governance, has been a great success. I recommend to all of you, you buy this book, which is available there. The book is already translated into Dutch, Farsi, Marathi, Hindi, Gujarati, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and all other Indian languages. Several reprints in English and other languages have been printed to meet the pressing demand. The academy has created a blog for these books and link to the website and Facebook and Twitter. We are today in era of startups. Government of India is keen to promote them lot. Lot of youngsters have opportunity to show their talent, and there is no dearth of talent in India. Financial institutions are also ready to help them. Many of the startups have shown substantial growth in very short time. A few decades back, these opportunities were not available. things have changed very much, and now the opportunity exists in many sectors. Several NGOs have established themselves well and have roots spread of every nook and corner of India. They have been doing a marvelous work and have a far and wide reach which many government agencies are not able to reach. They can change the destiny of this country if proper support and motivation given to them. For example, Anshu Gupta, who is one of our award winners, has reached of his NGO to all over the world, in all over the country. I would urge cabinet ministers and the members of print and media, electronic media, to pressurize the government to explore the possibilities of joint initiative with NGOs. I am sure Suresh Prabhu and Nitin Gadkari will take this forward. I strongly recommend the government to make establishing and running an NGO easier with minimum paperwork. Nowadays, a lot of fruitful time is wasted in submitting so many returns and filing several compliance documents. We are not against compliance, but I think it's too tedious. Our sponsors, without them this function would not have been possible, have been very generous and responded spontaneously to this good cause. They have been doing from last 32 years. Whatever we have achieved all this year, it was excellent teamwork. I don't want to mention all the team members. And all of you know Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani has taken over the chairman of the academy, and with his dynamism and stature, he will take academy to the great height. Thank you very much.
As I said earlier, Priyadarshini Academy is extremely fortunate to have the highly charismatic and debonair real estate tycoon Niranjan Hiranandani as its chairman. Unstoppable in the face of all odds, he has the remarkable ability to turn every challenge that comes his way into a stepping stone to reach even greater heights of success. I'd like to request Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani to say a few words.
What a wonderful day to see doyens of India decorate the stage and in the audience. I want to say what a wonderful, wonderful day to see a person who have been on the stage to receive honors. And we have got people who have earlier given honors to people who are sitting on the stage to receive honors. So we have had the privilege of having, at that time, Mr. Suresh Prabhu honoring on this stage and platform Mr. Nitin Gadkari for the Mumbai-Pune Road. Welcome to both of you, sirs, for the wonderful things that you have participated. The unstoppable and unbeatable Nitin Gadkari. The man who took up the road network of India, who took up the Mumbai-Pune Road as a challenge, and today took it up to say, should we make 10 kilometers of national highways per day? National highways, we are talking the width of Mumbai-Pune Road. He says, no, it should be doubled. And so he put the target as 20 kilometers of national highway per day. Sorry, he is not stopping there. His target for this year and next year is 30 kilometers of national highways per day. He is unstoppable, but he stops to come to Priyadarshini Academy. Thank you very much. May you be unstoppable in ports, highways, and other things. God bless you, sir. With the leadership that you have, we will make a paradigm of infrastructure in India, which will beat not only the rest of the world, but also China, whom we looked up to in terms of being the fastest infrastructure developer in the world. Sir, we wish you best of luck, and to the Prime Minister for having chosen you. Thank you very much for being with Priyadarshini and a part of this infrastructure. Mr. Suresh Prabhu doesn't want to be left behind. He loves our academy, he loves IMC, where we have been together, and he has blessed us, wished us, and been participated in his own amicable way, and he has done it with a flourish. The railways always had a problem because they subsidized all the railway lines. The tickets of Mumbai in terms of railway passes only cover 5% of the cost of the railways. But he doesn't say a stop over there. He's going to double the tracks, increase the number of bogies, help for the metro lines, do other things. But he said, where will the money come from? You know, it's not possible just to print notes. Of course, the government can do it, but he doesn't. So what has he done? He has now raised 150,000 crores to add the railways in the next 24 months, which will take from the Life Insurance Corporation of India, which will make a paradigm of the railways, which will increase by leaps and bounds. He is not happy over there. He says that's not enough to increase the railways. So he says the Prime Minister may make Swachh Bharat, but I will make Swachh railways. And so he wants to make the cleanest railways of all and has started to clean up the railway tracks, the railway areas, the railway bogies and the railway station. Sir, thank you very much for being with us and being that wonderful minister which will make Mumbai, Maharashtra better in terms of connectivity, but the whole of India, and not only that, the bullet train to go from Mumbai to Ahmedabad in a shortest period of time of a couple of hours. Thank you very much for being with us and being the wonderful minister of railways that he is over here today. Ladies and gentlemen, what should I say? So many lovely people over here, but I must first tell you Nanak Rupani. Nanak Rupani created this institution and it is a part of his blood. And he keeps on saying that I've taken it over. I hope so in the next couple of years I will be fit enough to take over that post. But thank you, Mr. Rupani, for being that wonderful person that you are. And in terms of doing whatever it is, and he continues to do much more than he is. And he is deservedly called Chairman Emeritus, but his emeritus name is more current than what is supposed to be normally under the English definition. Thank you, Rupani, for being that great leadership that you have shown. I want to say certain things about a few of the recipients that I have, but that's not a starting point. The starting point is my guru and teacher, Dr. Mashalka, a scientist of repute, a person who was chosen by the government to lead the technology of India, making that paradigm feel that the benefits of that should reach the common man and make that technology happen. So he talks about not only the technology of India, but how can it reach the common man and is now have 1 lakh people being skill trained under his NGO. So he's not just a technologist, he's a man of the grassroots who touches the hearts of people but gives jobs to a lakh of people every year. Sir, thank you for being our leader and choosing the right person and being the chairman of our institution that we have. His leadership is second to none. And if the good people have been chosen over here, it is because of his kindness and leadership that he shows and the bestowing of knowledge that we have. We have a lot of other people. But I want to start with somebody who is very special, who does water. Mumbai has either floods or it is drought. Maharashtra, is it flood or it is drought? India, is it flood or drought? And in some areas it's flood, and in some areas it's drought. But in a place of desert called Israel, there is sufficient water. And why is there sufficient water in the desert of Israel? It is due to a person called Dr. Uri Shani. Thank you very much for being an award winner, which makes this paradigm happen for Israel, brought in new technologies, brought a relationship between 3 countries, Jerusalem, Israel, and Jordan, otherwise enemies, but they have a relationship to provide water in the region. And that is because of this great man who's being awarded today. Congratulations, sir, and thank you very much for taking the time of coming over here. We have Dr. Frank Reiter, a man, Horaces, who believes that relationship, building trust and dialogue between countries make a lot of difference. Globalization is a part of his blood. He has brought about relationships of creating business interests, globalization to bring benefits to the common man. Recently, we had the opportunity of going to Portugal under his leadership and made a lot of difference over there, and that is what he is here today. Now he talks about different relationships between India and China, and to see that this region makes that paradigm happen. Thank you very much, Dr. Frank Reiter, for being here with us. because the difference that you make in terms of creating relationship, maybe you can get a relationship with India and Pakistan also. Instead of doing all the rest of the countries, if you did this, you would make a paradigm in our region also. So good wishes to all of you and to your whole team of Horaces. There are other wonderful people here, but there's one very special person. His name is Mr. Kiran Kumar. He's not an actor. He is the leader of ISRO. He sends spacecraft to the moon. He sends spacecraft to Mars. And he spends only 5 to 10% of the cost that NASA spends for the same mission to Mars. Congratulations, sir, for making that paradigm happen, that you make the best aircraft and spacecraft in the world at 5% of the cost of what NASA spends. What a paradigm if we can do it in every subject that we have. But that's not enough. And I talked to him a little while back and he said, we are not only doing all these things in spacecraft. We help the fishermen to find fish. We help people to find out where the cyclones are going to come. We are going to tell you what the weather is going to be. We are going to make, in the last mission of 21 spacecrafts that were sent, 17 were sent of foreign countries to do it on an Indian booster. So boosting to you, sir, for being the head of ISRO and coming here, especially here today to receive the award. Congratulations for that exception, which makes India reach Mars at 5% of the cost. May we also ask all the manufacturers of India to make goods at 5% of what they do for China. So maybe we can beat and become the manufacturing center for the entire world that we do. Anshu Gupta of Gunj, he does what many people do, which is voluntary organizations and doing good things for people. Lots of people in this audience are doing it. But he does it without spending a penny. He has 400, 500 people working all over India, and he does barter. So he takes donations of old goods, old furniture, old stuff, barters them with economic activity, and has created several centers all over India. Congratulations, sir, for making that difference to learn that India can have a different NGO, a different cultural organization that really makes the difference. Juhi Chawla. What a beautiful woman that we have in our presence. Thank you very much for being here. But she's not only beautiful in looks, but she has other beautiful things at all that you need to see and be able to hear. Because she has focused on so many cultural and social activities. But most of all, she's saving you from becoming deaf. And how does she do that? She brought about an issue to measure telecom activity in every center in India, which has brought about control in the amount of radiation that this can happen. She has been a leadership in this world, though I blame her for some of the call drops. But that apart, I'm glad that she's saving my ears today. So congratulations, Juhi, and thank you very much for being part of this organization for the purposes of this. We also have two other wonderful people. One, Dr. Venki Ramakrishnan, who will be coming on TV. And of course, we have the famous actress. You know, here I find some cheating going on the stage. I'm supposed to be the chairman, but you must have noticed there's a chair vacant next to Mr. Nanik Rupani. So I said, am I the bloody chairman or is she? And he takes the chair right to it, and I'm complaining over here. Mrs. Rupani, please make a note. That's the advantage of being Mr. Nanik Rupani, to be able to get the beautiful Katrina Kaif, who is a wonderful actress, to come here today. What I wanted to say that really, thanks to Dr. Mashalka, the chosen ones today here are outstanding in their own way. But Priyadarshini does much more. We do a lot of activity in terms of students, in terms of art, culture, and other magnanimous activity. Thank you very much for all the great support that you're giving over here. Thank you very much for coming in numbers. I would keep on giving all the names of people in audiences. Mr. Ashish Shelar, the leader over here, is here. Atul Shah is over here. So many industrialists, businessmen and friends over here. Poonam Dillon is over here. Manju Nichani is here. I can go on for 1 hour. But thank you very much for being here. I wanted to tell you that the people on the chair, people in the audience are wonderful, wonderful people here today. But congratulations to the award winners. Thank you for coming over here and all of you making this very special afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hiranandani. Our guests for this afternoon have taken time from their very hectic schedule to be here today for this important event. To formally welcome them, I'd like to request Mr. Hiranandani and Mr. Rupani to jointly present a bouquet to our chief guest, Mr. Nitin Gadkari. I'm sure we can support that with a round of applause. May I also request Mr. Hiranandani and Mr. Rupani to present a welcome bouquet to our guest of honor, Mr. Suresh Prabhu. Once again, to present a welcome bouquet to our special invitee on stage, Ms. Afreen Rachel Waz. We have some very special invitees in the audience with us today, and we'd like to acknowledge their presence and thank them for being here. May I request somebody from the Academy to present a bouquet to Mr. Ashish Shelar from the BJP. Mr. Shelar, he has stepped out. Okay, all right. Our very own Ms. Poonam Dillon is here. She has been an integral part of the Academy for many, many, many years. She's one of our own. We're delighted to have her here with us today. Thank you, Poonam, so much for being with us. We have Mrs. Swati and Mr. Rashmi Mehta, Trustee Leelavati Hospital. Thank you for joining us. Can I request you to present a bouquet, please? If you could stand so they can spot you. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for being with us. We have also Ms. Seema Anand and Mr. Chetan Mehta, Trustee Leelavati Hospital. Thank you so much for being with us. Okay, we have Dr. Yasmin and Rumi Behramji over here. Again, I can't, there they are. Can we have a bouquet for them as well? Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. Mr. K.P. Chabria, Chairman Emeritus, Finolex Industries. Thank you for being with us. Is Mr. Devendra Bharma in the room? Yes, he is. Thank you so much. Can we have a bouquet for Mr. Bharma? Thank you year after year, every year for supporting the Academy, and thank you for all the good work that you do. Mr. Nari Pohani and Mrs. Lakshmi Pohani, who are here all the way from New York, who've been supporters of the Academy for many, many, many years. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, the Academy is able to do all the great work it does only because of support of these kind of people, and I'd be failing in my duty if I didn't mention these names. I'm sure I've left a few out, so I do apologize for that, but thank you once again, all of you, for being here. It is truly the Academy's privilege to have the eminent scientist, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, as chairperson of its Global Awards Committee. He has received over 50 awards nationally and internationally, including the Padma Vibhushan, has hundreds of research publications and 28 patents to his credit, has been bestowed with honorary doctorates from 34 international universities, and serves on 12 high-powered government committees. He valiantly fought and got revoked the wrongly issued US patents on turmeric and basmati rice based on India's traditional knowledge. Please put your hands together for this jewel in India's crown, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar.
Most respected Shri Nitin Gadkari ji, our very own, our beloved Shri Suresh Prabhu, Niranjan Hiranandani, Nani Krupani, distinguished awardees, distinguished dais, ladies and gentlemen. Let me extend a very warm welcome to you all on this 32nd Global Awards ceremony. My mind goes back to 2002 when I began my association with the Academy. I was an award winner at that time, I still remember. Then was a member of the committee for selection and then has had the honor of being the chairman for last 8 years. And I can assure you, my job is very, very simple. We have a great, great committee, and all that the chairman has to say is yes, is as simple as that. We use a very simple criterion, by the way. The criteria that we use is, has something been game-changing in the way the work and life of awardees has influenced, whether it is society, whether it is politics, whether it is economics, whether it is science, and so on and so forth. It's a very simple criteria. In fact, I was listening to our Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he was addressing Niti Aayog on 29 July, and he said something interesting. He said, the time for incremental change has gone. We require something that is transformative, that is disruptive, that is game-changing, all right? And that is what not only India needs, that's what the whole world needs. And that's what we are looking at. In fact, just day before yesterday, I was in Ahmedabad giving a talk on the same subject, on from incremental to disruptive and game-changing innovation. It was an audience of 600, 700 scientists. And I'm very happy to say, two iconic figures that are sitting here, Nitin Gadkari and Suresh Prabhu. Both of these I mentioned in my speech because you can see quite clearly what they're doing is disruptive, is game-changing. The speed, scale, and sustainability of what they're achieving is absolutely tremendous. So that is what we are looking at. And as Niranjan Bhai has described to you the work of each of the awardees, you will see what difference they have made when their full citations are read. The one thing that Niranjan did not mention was Venki Ramakrishnan. So I'll fill that gap and talk to you about Venki Ramakrishnan. Also, I have a selfish interest because I'm a scientist. So I will speak a little more about the scientist. You know, he's an incredible person. He did his bachelor's degree in biology, did his doctorate in physics, and won the Nobel Prize in chemistry. Right? A genius. What is very interesting is the kind of height that he has reached. You know, there is what is called as Royal Society that was established 356 years ago. The Newtons of this world have been the fellows of that academy. And I remember getting elected to that society is one of the greatest honors that one can have. The first engineering scientist to have been elected from India to that society was Professor M.M. Sharma, my guru, by the way. And there have been only 3 engineering scientists who have been elected. I happen to be the third one. Now, I remember one of the greatest joys of getting elected is that you go and sign in the book in which Newton has signed, on page 9, basically, you know. And what a fantastic moment. And I remember getting a letter from Sir Eric Ashe saying that congratulations, only 2 greater things can happen to you in your life now. One is Nobel Prize and second is death. One is certain, another one is uncertain. Why I'm giving you this particular background, the honor that Venki Ramakrishnan has had, he's not just the fellow of the Royal Society, but he's the president of Royal Society. The first Indian the first Indian in 356 years to have become that president, the highest scientific society in the world, and plus the Nobel Prize that he won for breakthrough research. I think the simple point I'm trying to make is that just as India is rising, the standards of Priyadarshini Academy Awards are also rising. And this is the first ever Nobel laureate that we'll be honoring in its 32nd year. So you can quite clearly see we are setting very, very high benchmarks now in terms of the award winners. In fact, I would correct myself by saying that today we are honoring ourselves, the Academy, by honoring those icons, those achievers, those men and women who are exemplars, who have shown us the way by making sometimes impossible looking things possible. And I do know that you'll be giving a round of applause each time somebody receives an award, but let's give all of them a big, big collective applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mashelkar. Priyadarshini Academy salutes and acknowledges the outstanding contribution of individuals who, through their sheer passion, commitment, and dedication, have reached remarkable heights in their respective fields. We have a galaxy of achievers with us this afternoon. Mr. Hiranandani and Dr. Mashelkar have done half of my job by partially introducing the awardees already, so that makes it easier for me. I can talk volumes more about each of their achievements, but I'll be brief in the interest of time. You can find their detailed profiles in the Academy's souvenir, which has been released today. Before we proceed, I very humbly request all the award winners to please keep their response speeches to 3 minutes each so that we can keep the program on schedule. Thank you so much for your kind cooperation. Let's move on to the presentation of the awards. True giving always respects and preserves human dignity. This is the philosophy of Mr. Anshu Gupta, one of India's leading social entrepreneurs and the founder of Gunj, a Delhi-based NGO which focuses on community development, disaster relief, and humanitarian aid. Gunj aims to bridge the gap between urban prosperity and rural poverty by recycling discarded clothes and household goods and converting them into useful products. From a stapler pin to industrial generators, Mr. Gupta has taken the menacing growth of urban waste and used it to trigger large-scale development work in some of the most backward and remote villages of India, thereby creating a parallel economy which is not cash-based, but trash-based. Today, Gunj is a pan-India movement dealing with more than 3,000 tons of material annually. It helps village communities address issues such as education, sanitation, women's health, water conservation, and infrastructure. For outstanding contribution to promoting the dignity of the poor, Priyadarshini Academy is presenting the Ramakrishna Bajaj Memorial Global Award to the clothing man, Mr. Anshu Gupta. We have with us today the son of late Ramakrishna Bajaj, Mr. Neeraj Bajaj, and his lovely wife, Meenal. Their philanthropic activities are very well known, and they have regularly supported the education of many students through the Academy's scholarship program. I'd like to request Mr. Nitin Gadkari to present this award to Mr. Gupta, and I'd also like to request Mr. Neeraj and Mrs. Meenal Bajaj to join this presentation ceremony, please. Can we have you on stage? Thank you, everyone. Mr. Gupta, may I request you to say a few words on this memorable occasion, please?
Namaskar and Jai Hind. So any recognition to me, any recognition to Gunj is actually the recognition to a series of non-issues in this world. I've been asking these questions in all these forums all across the world. Just to give you some of the examples, I always say that if you go to a private school today, where unfortunately in India we call them public schools, every third or fourth kid wears a glass, spectacles. If you go to a government school, a municipality school, a village school, you hardly see any kid wearing glasses. And this is what I always question, that the education is hampering because the education policy is wrong, teacher-student ratio is wrong, as we often say, or the education is also hampering because the kid can't see. The transport minister is sitting here. We are in the hardcore business of logistics. We move around 3,000 tons of material every year in parts of 22 states, not as charity but as a currency. I'll explain in the next 1 minute. In the last 17 years, 18 years of our work, we have never seen a truck driver wearing glasses. Although we know that the eyes are pretty vulnerable. I often ask people that the accidents are happening because the roads are bad, because the dog comes on the road, the way we say, or the accidents are happening because the driver cannot see. These are the non-issues. These are absolutely non-issues which we never considered issues. So about 2 decades back, we started talking about the issue of clothing. A whole lot of people in the world think that we are in the business of collecting and distributing cloth. We don't do. We use it as a currency. But the whole idea was that you talk about 3 basic needs of humankind. You say roti, kapda, makan, food, cloth and shelter. Then you talk about the development issues across the globe, Millennium Development Goal, Niti Aayog, Sustainability Goal. You have 150 issues from domestic violence to global warming. You will never find clothing written as a subject. We said if earthquake is a disaster, flood is a disaster, how come winters are not a disaster? When a piece of cloth is such a big symbol for my dignity, how come that is not a piece of symbol for the entire world? My journey started when I left corporate by meeting a small girl in the city of Delhi, where like any other big city, we have a large number of homeless people. The girl, the child, the little child of a person who used to pick up unclaimed, abandoned dead bodies for the local police. And when this guy called Habib said that in winters my work goes up, and many times I have so much of work that I cannot handle it. And his little daughter told me, which still shakes me, in Hindi she said कि जब मुझे ठंड लगती है तो मैं लाश के साथ चिपक कर सो जाती हूँ. लाश तंग नहीं करती, लाश करवट नहीं बदलती. When I feel cold, I hug the dead body and sleep. It does not trouble me. It does not turn around. These are the realities of the larger part of the country. And we all can do a lot because the governments are doing their own jobs. Citizens need to come up, citizens need to understand these non-issues. We started working on this non-issue. Today, in nutshell, we are very strict about it that charity cannot solve the problem. Dignity is extremely important. 3,000 tons of cloth, utensil, footwear, office material, anything and everything is now channelized to the parts of 22 states of India, where people take up their own initiative. They dig a pond, they clean a well, they make roads, they make bamboo bridges. Just before the Kashmir trouble, we cleaned up about 1 lakh square meter of Dal Lake. The only difference, people are not paid in cash. People are paid in material. It is dignifying giving, no more charity. It is a revival of the traditional Indian strength called Shramdan. It is the revival of the traditional Indian strength called barter economy, where people for whom you work pay you in a currency called labor, and people are paid in a currency called material. It's a barter between material and labor, and the money is needed for the logistics of it. That's what we are trying to do. My only message today to this August audience, again, that there are issues and there are non-issues. While working on cloth, before I leave, I need to leave this message with all of you as I'm talking about the non-issues. 2004-2005, we touched upon another non-issue, and we said that every single woman across the globe needs a piece of cloth, which is now called sanitary pad. In a country where you do not have enough to wear, and it's not about India only, I'm an Indian, so I'm talking about India, it's a world scenario. If you do not have enough to wear, from where and how you bring that piece of cloth was a query. And you will not believe 2004-2005, if you would have gone on Google, typed sanitary pad, sanitary napkin, the best tampons and cups would have been seen from all across the world. Not even a single major research in India, no problem statement, no solution. Today, large part of your population is actually using sand, ash, jute bags, rugs, rags, newspaper to use sanitary pad to cow dung in the name of sanitary pad. We are a nation which is talking about women a lot. We have a whole lot of schemes, but maybe somewhere the real issues are missing. We have cases where a lady used a piece of blouse which had a hook, she died of tetanus. We found a case where a centipede entered and the lady died. Please understand, these are not medical issues. These are also the issues related to the dignity. It's extremely important for all of us to look into these non-issues and then start working on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta. May you continue to change many more lives through the amazing work that you're doing. We move on to the next award. A former director of the World Economic Forum, Dr. Frank Jürgen Richter, is the chairman of Horasis, an independent international organization committed to enacting visions for a sustainable future. Through his extensive experience, understanding, and knowledge of the world's economic, business, and political scene, his interactions with its key players, and by using Horace's history of partnerships with corporations, Dr. Richter has created a powerful platform for cooperation between emerging and developed markets. He has facilitated the exchange of expertise between leaders in business, government, and civil society through Horace's flagship events, the Horace's Global Meetings, and its regional summits focusing on China, India, Russia, and the Arab world. He has authored a series of best-selling books on global strategy and Asian business. His writings have appeared in many publications, including the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. He is a highly sought-after speaker and has appeared on several TV channels, including CNN and BBC. For outstanding contribution to the global economy, I'd like to request Mr. Suresh Prabhu to present the Harish Mahendra Memorial Global Award to Dr. Frank Jürgen Richter. Dr. Richter, may I request you to share your thoughts with us on this important occasion? Thank you.
Honorable Minister Nitin Gadkari, Honorable Minister Suresh Prabhu, my dear friends Niranjan and Nanik, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I've received many kindnesses from my friends in India, but the honor which now you accord me with is without parallel. I accept the Harish Mahendra Award with deep gratitude and affection. I would like to offer my sincere gratitude to the Priyadarshini Award Academy. I am humbled that you would place your faith and trust in me. This is a responsibility that I do not take lightly. And I will endeavor to present you with my utmost transparency and boldness. I'm doing so, I believe that we at Horasis have endeavored to carry on the spirit of the founder of this prize who devoted himself to global dialogue, sustainable growth, and responsible entrepreneurship. Harish Mahindra has been an exceptional business leader who always acted in the global public interest. He expected the winners of the award to encourage consideration of ways to serve the cause of benign globalization. What do I mean by benign globalization, ladies and gentlemen? In today's world, we see a lot of finger pointing, a lot of wall building, a lot of protectionism happening, and a lot of populism. I think we need a better world where everybody can work together. We need more dialogue, not less dialogue. We need more globalization and not less globalization. We need benign globalization where everybody can be on the winning side. It's really a positive sum game we are engaging where everybody can benefit. And benign globalization is really what we would like to achieve at Horasis. Horasis is an independent international organization, and we would like to encourage people to think of long-term visions to fix our problems in this world. We hold meetings on India, China, Russia, and the Middle East, and I have to say India is very much at the heart of what we do. The Horasis India meeting is one of the foremost global meetings for Indian business leaders and their global counterparts. And we invite Indian business leaders to meet once per year in a location outside India. We at Horasis are truly committed to the growth of the Indian economy and India's place in global trade and sustainable development. I believe, my friends, that India is great news. India is good news. India is a new engine of globalization. India is a new engine of benign globalization. We want to see a prosperous India, a shining India, and an India which is truly engaging in solving the world's most pressing challenges and issues. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you, ladies and gentlemen. And thanks again to the Priyadarshini Award Academy. I'm thankful for your work in and with the Indian business community in the impact you have had on us at Horasis. Thank you so much for this wonderful award. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Richter, and thank you for coming all the way from Switzerland to be with us this afternoon. Please give him another round of applause. And we have his lovely wife here as well. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. Policy architect, inventor, and entrepreneur in agriculture and water technologies, Dr. Uri Shani has led the transformation of Israel from a country that depended primarily on natural sources of water, which are now diminishing, to near rainfall independency. This was made possible through ambitious water saving, building of water reservoirs, large-scale commercial desalination facilities, and sewage treatment plants. Dr. Shani has set an example for the world of how to sustain depleting natural resources through innovative research, development, and management. Over the years, he has served in several positions in the private and public sectors, including Israel's Governmental Water and Sewage Authority and the Steering Committee for the Dead Sea Conduit. He has published 70 peer-reviewed manuscripts and has 5 patents to his credit. His expertise is highly sought for many important water projects around the world. For outstanding contribution to scientific research and development of innovative water technologies and management, Priyadarshini Academy is proud to present the 2016 Global Award to Dr. Uri Shani, and I'd like to request Mr. Nitin Gadkari to do the honor and present this award. Dr. Shani, may I request you to please address the audience? Thank you.
Honorable Ministers, Priyadarshini, Academia, and guests, I am honored to be here today among my very impressive colleagues receiving the Priyadarshini Global Award. Water is the basic need for us, human being. In my experience, people comprehend water not as another commodity, but rather as life itself. Yet, while realizing a global and local water shortage, we all spend most of it, both in urban and agricultural practices. About 75% of fresh water used by humans goes to irrigation. However, worldwide, overall efficiency is only about 30% with enormous environmental and economical price. If we think where we need to save and to be more efficient, it's very clear that we can help water status in the world by increasing efficiency in agriculture. There are many reasons for this unforgivable waste, including soil complexity, high variability, and enormous agricultural area to be managed. However, today, at 2016, with severe water crisis in many places and more to come, we must overcome this obstacle. I don't know if you're aware, but the war, for example, the war in Syria, the bitter war we have now, the Syrians have now, started with water. About 500,000 farmers had to leave their land and live as refugees in the suburbs of the big cities of Syria. Because of that, all the rebellion started because of those people that lost their work, lost their jobs, lost everything, and this is water. I can continue in many other places. It's the same. Water is a very big issue, and we waste it. The main objective of our effort today, of my work today, is in a series of breakthrough technology, to introduce a series of breakthrough technologies to increase water efficiency, mostly in agriculture. We achieved today something like increasing efficiency from 30% to 60% already in commercial fields. And in some beta sites in the world, we have now about 90% efficiency in use of water. So there is a way to go, and our next mission is to make this technology available worldwide. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shani. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. All right, our next award winner is joining us via video conference. Dr. Ramakrishnan, it's great to have you with us this afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I'm going to give a brief introduction about you, and then we will have the award presentation. Failure is a stepping stone to success. Dr. Venki Ramakrishnan is a living example of this adage. He failed to clear the entrance exam for IIT as well as a reputed medical college. After completing his PhD in physics, he decided he really wanted to pursue biology instead and started over as a graduate student. After his postdoctorate fellowship from Yale, he could not find a faculty position even though he applied to 50 different universities. After working on ribosomes for 15 years, Dr. Ramakrishnan went on to do path-breaking research on the structure and function of ribosomes, for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 2009. Dr. Mashelkar already told you he is the only person of Indian origin to serve as the president of the Royal Society in the Society's 356-year history. He joins the ranks of Sir Isaac Newton in this position. He is a Padma Vibhushan recipient and was knighted by the Queen in 2012. He currently serves as the Deputy Director at the Medical Research Council Laboratory of Molecular Biology at the University of Cambridge, England. Priyadarshini Academy is proud to present the Global Award for path-breaking, Nobel Prize-winning work on the structure and function of ribosomes to Sir Dr. Ramakrishnan. May I request Mr. Nitin Gadkari to present this award. Welcome. And may I request Dr. R.A. Mashelkar to receive this award on behalf of Dr. Ramakrishnan. Okay, Katrina's joined us, as you can see, and we will be hearing from her in a little while. Dr. Ramakrishnan, your award is in safe hands. We have a full house here today and the audience is eager to hear from you. Over to you.
Venki, it's been a great honor and a privilege,
Yes.
the best day of my life, to receive this on your behalf.
Hello,
Thank you.
can you all hear me? You can hear me. If you can hear me, just raise your hand. Okay, great. So, first of all, I want to say thank you very much for this award. It's a great honor, and I'm very sorry I cannot be there with you. I'd like to say a few remarks about the academy and education and what you're rewarding, as well as what the future is. So the first thing is, I'd say education and innovation are really the only way out of prosperity in the 21st century. Manufacturing is a route to it, but to do manufacturing in a competitive way is going to require innovation because it's going to become increasingly automated. You will not be able to compete on labor costs alone in the future. There are also global challenges like food, energy, disease, drought. All of these will take new and innovative ideas. Now, Indians have done very well worldwide whenever given the opportunity, and all they really need to succeed, and all that is really needed for India to succeed, is to create the appropriate environment. And two things that are essential for creating that environment are education and infrastructure. Now, education, we've heard a lot about education. I know the Academy supports a lot of scholarships, but education needs to be widespread. It cannot be restricted to the 1% or 5% of Indians who can afford to send their children to English language schools. India is a huge country, 1.2 billion people, and for India to succeed, it needs an educated population. This means translating textbooks into vernacular languages and making sure that every child in India, no matter whether they live in a village or in a city, is properly educated in a language in which they're comfortable speaking. The other thing that's required is higher education. We do not have, in India, there are insufficient institutions of higher education and research. The government is trying to create new institutions, but this will take time because you will need to find the right people to staff it. So that's another problem. Infrastructure requires both transport and utilities. We've heard a bit about the railways, but India has a long way to go before it catches up with countries like China, Korea, Taiwan. In fact, most of Eastern Asia is well ahead of the game. And so that's something that India needs to put a lot of effort into. A third thing is to give young people independence at an early stage in their career. Young people are the most innovative. By the time people are my age, they're set in their ways. They're not thinking really new kinds of things. It's only when you're very young that you have that boldness. And so it's very important to give young people independence very early on. And a final message is that India is a very diverse country and it needs harmony. If people resort to sectarian violence, this is a distraction from the task of building India to compete and move forward in the 21st century. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ramakrishnan. India is extremely proud of you. Your award is in safe hands, and I'm sure Dr. Mashelkar will get it to you in London. Thank you so much. We move on to the next award. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, has given India many reasons to celebrate. Application-oriented satellites designed, developed, launched, and maintained by ISRO have played a vital role in telecommunications, TV broadcasting, weather observation, natural resources survey, and monitoring and navigation, paving the way for India's development. In 2008, ISRO's lunar probe, Chandrayaan-1, discovered the presence of water on the moon for the very first time. In 2014, ISRO created history when its Mangalyaan probe entered the Mars orbit in its very first attempt, earning India the reputation of being the only country in the world to do so. Recent successful launches of the RLV-TD and the GSLV Mark II using homegrown cryogenic rocket technology and the record launch of 20 satellites in 26 minutes in a single mission are only some of its many other accomplishments. ISRO has successfully launched satellites for over 20 countries, including USA, UK, Germany, Israel, Japan, and France. Often described as NASA's envy, India's pride, ISRO is held in the highest esteem across the world. We are delighted to have the chairman of ISRO, Dr. A.S. Kiran Kumar, with us today. A Padma Shri recipient, he is the man at ISRO's helm and has played a crucial role in several of its successful space missions. I'd like to request Mr. Nitin Gadkari to present the Priyadarshini Academy Global Award for Outstanding Contribution to the development of space science and technology to ISRO, and I'd like to request Dr. Kiran Kumar to receive this award. Dr. Kiran Kumar, may I request you to address the audience, please?
Good afternoon to all of you. Mr. Nitin Gadkari, Honorable Minister for Shipping, Road Transport, Mr. Suresh Prabhu, Honorable Minister for Railways, Mashelkar, and Priyadarshini Academy, and all of you who have gathered here today on this wonderful occasion where an academy for 32nd time is recognizing people for their contribution to the society, not only in our country, but also across the globe. On behalf of Indian Space Research Organization, I deem it a great honor to accept this recognition the country is giving to our organization. Indian Space Research Organization, right from its inception, has started looking at availability of a new technology of space, how to make use of this for benefiting the country's growth and development. It is the vision of people like Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, who saw in this space technology a means by which we can bring in rapid development by communication, revolution in communication, and bringing in observation from space, where today we are in a position to warn at least 48 hours in advance on the impending cyclones which can reach the coastal regions. Today we have a capability to tell the country at least 48 hours in advance with an error less than 20 kilometers in space and half an hour in time. Just recently, we also launched an INSAT 3D satellite which is capable of providing additional information. And this was launched using an indigenous cryo engine, and the third one in consecutive successful mission. You can realize that this technology, by virtue of its nature, information is not easy to get. It is the dedicated efforts of scientists and technologists in Indian Space Research Organization, which has worked as a team, which has been possible to touch the lives of our countrymen. And in our effort, we do greatly honored when institutions like this recognize the work done by ISRO. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kiran Kumar. Thank you for being with us. Actor, film producer, model, accomplished classical dancer and singer, co-owner of the IPL team Kolkata Knight Riders, Miss India 1984, Juhi Chawla Mehta, needs little introduction. Her vivacious on-screen persona and comic timing comes second only to her irresistible million-dollar smile. As a humanitarian, Juhi has been associated with a number of charities and social causes. She is very committed to spreading awareness about thalassemia and to providing education for special children. She is actively working on improving the current educational system by reducing the heavy workload on children. For several years now, Juhi has been on a mission to educate people about the health hazards of mobile phone and tower antenna radiation. She has been visiting schools, speaking at seminars, working with citizens groups, and calling on ministers and authorities to drive her point home. Last year, she received the Indira Gandhi Memorial Award for Social Awareness for her active participation and selfless effort towards this cause. Yes, you may blame her for some of the call drops, as Mr. Hiranandani said, but in recognition of her outstanding contribution to social causes, I'd like to request Mr. Suresh Prabhu to present the Priyadarshini Academy Global Award to Miss Juhi Chawla. Juhi, the audience would love to hear from you. May I request you to say a few words, please?
A very good evening, Chief Guest Sir, Nitin Gadkari ji, Guest of Honor, Suresh Prabhu ji, the very dynamic, utterly charming Hira Nandani ji, the kind, thorough gentleman, Mr. Rupani, eminent guests on the dais, and wonderful audience here, amongst whom I see many familiar faces, including some members of my family. I am so privileged and so honored to be here with you this afternoon. It is absolutely beautiful. How I've come to be here. I'd like to tell you, just earlier this year, I had worked on a film called Chalk and Duster. Incidentally, it's a lovely film. If you haven't watched it, I recommend it. Aap zarur dekhiye. It'll go straight to your heart. It's so beautiful. Shabana ji and myself worked in the film, and she introduced me to Rupani ji. We were working on the promotions of the film. I was meeting Rupani ji for the first time. He saw our film. He liked it so much. For days on end, he went out of his way to connect me to the best people who might be able to take the film forward. I have rarely met people who can be so kind and so giving. And on days when things were not quite going the way we wanted them to, he would see me a little dejected and he'd say, "No, no, no, it's not for you to give up. Try, try, try until you succeed. Success is your birthright." And that, incidentally, is also the title of his book, Success is Our Birthright. So I thank Mr. Rupani ji because I know he's behind this award that I have just received today. Thank you so much. Like they said, in my life, in the past couple of years, I have stood up for causes, big and small. But I know the one that I've become famous, or rather infamous for, has been radiation. 5 years ago when I began, it was really just trying to help myself. And I came across people who started helping me. 5 years ago, I did not know. I myself did not know about radiation. I learned about it. I had no idea I would get sucked into it. And today, I would be recognized for it. I would be awarded for it. Thank you so much for this. It's a very complex, a very technical subject. And I have often asked myself, me, I'm an actress, like they said, known for comic timing, dancing and singing around trees, that's what I've done. What am I doing with this issue? Like I said, I didn't choose radiation. Radiation chose me. Perhaps it needed a simple person to be able to explain this very complex, abstract kind of topic to the common people in a simple way. For this, for all that I have done these years, or managed to do, I would say, I want to thank my team, without whose support and whose unstinted help I could not have made it this far. It is Tejal, Nilima, and my very helpful neighbor, Mr. Prakash Munshi. He's here with me today. I dragged him for this. I said, I could not have achieved this had it not been for his unstinted support. A few weeks ago, I was at our Gurukul in Porbandar, and I heard this on stage. I found it so amazing, I wanted to share it with you. सोच बदलो, सितारे बदल जाएंगे. सोच बदलो, सितारे बदल जाएंगे. नज़र बदलो, नज़ारे बदल जाएंगे. कश्तियाँ बदलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है दोस्तों. कश्तियाँ बदलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है दोस्तों. दिशा बदलो, किनारे बदल जाएंगे. 20 years ago, I was only an actress. I would brush my teeth, get into the car, and go for shooting, wherever it was. My world was just me. I had no cares in the world. It was like the earth is revolving around the sun, but the sun is only shining for me. From there, I have come a long way. Maybe it's been life's experiences, becoming a mother, having children, and today, my mind has changed so much. It works overtime on one thing. How do I make this world a better place for my children? How do I make this world a better place for everybody's children? So that's where I am at in life, and thank you so much for this award. To conclude, I'd like to leave you with this absolutely beautiful thing I read, and I'd like to live my life with this. These are words of Mother Teresa. She said, if you are kind, people may take advantage of you. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will have some unfaithful friends and many genuine enemies. Be successful anyways. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest anyway. What you spend years creating, others may destroy. Create anyway. If you are happy, people may get jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten, but do good anyway. The best you have will never be enough, but do your best anyway. Because you see, in the end, it was always between you and God. It was never between you and them anyways. Thank you.
Lovely, Juhi. Thank you so much for sharing those wonderful words of inspiration. Thank you for being with us. We have one more award to go. I know all of you have been waiting for this award, but intezar ka phal meeta hota hai, and since Katrina came a little bit late, so we're going to make her wait a little bit longer. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to first introduce a gentleman, a very nice person, dressed in all white today. Armed with education, ability, understanding, and integrity, Mr. Suresh Prabhu has held numerous positions in the Government of India with delivered milestones. He is affiliated with a large number of national and global organizations and has also served as a senior advisor to the United Nations. In his current role as Union Railways Minister, he has brought in a variety of passenger-friendly reforms in the railways. Tweet a problem or complaint and you get a prompt reply from the Indian Railways. Bullet trains to reduce travel times, increased number of coaches to accommodate more people, Wi-Fi connectivity at more than 400 stations in the next 2 years, food of your choice, travel insurance cover at less than 1 rupee, and executive lounges at several stations. These are just few of the many changes that he is currently working on. Please welcome Mr. Suresh Prabhu with a huge round of applause.
So good afternoon, friends. Let me first of all join all my fellow countrymen in condemning this very sad happening in Uri. The anger, the anguish that all of us are having is absolutely something I'm sure will be taken to the logical conclusion. And let me also join all my other countrymen who are equally feeling sad about what has happened. And we already, at the beginning of the program, offered our condolences. Priyadashini Academy has been doing this great job for so many years. Today we are given awards to people who excelled in science, technology, agriculture, different kinds of art, and many others. Mr. Nanik Rupani, and now for some years, my good friend Niranjan, and a great scientist, Dr. Maselkar and his team, have been doing this great job. Being a part of this process myself for a long time, can I make a suggestion that we should also think about an award for someone who fights terrorism, which will be the most appropriate way to come out with someone who does it a great job globally and make sure that everybody can live in peace. I think when the first peace award was announced by Nobel Prize Committee, they wouldn't have probably even comprehended or could have imagined that what the peace would really mean and how people could destroy peace. So I think we really need to institute such an award. This is my humble suggestion. Let me once again congratulate all the winners. One of the great advantage of being in the seat of power is that you can also give award to someone for whom we have been worshipping and as a fan. So I think this is also a great opportunity to give an award to such a person. Mr. Nanik Rupani must be complimented because he has been thinking of these global awards much before India opened up the economy in 1991. So he has been even I would say the real harbinger of globalization. So congratulations to you, congratulations to all the winners. Thank you very much.
All right, I come back to the award that I talked about earlier, the one that all of you have been waiting for. But before that, we have a very special guest with us in our midst. We have film producer, owner of Tips, Mr. Ramesh Taurani. He's here with us. We'd like to acknowledge his presence and welcome him with a bouquet, please. Mr. Ramesh Torani. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. Thank you. For a girl who came from London to Mumbai, not knowing the local language or a single soul in the city, it is extremely commendable that Katrina Kaif is one of the top stars in Bollywood today. Be it romance, action, comedy, or drama, she has delivered many super hits over the last, including Welcome, Partner, Race, Singh is King, Ajab Prem Ki Gajab Kahani, Rajniti, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, Ek Tha Tiger, Jab Tak Hai Jaan, and Dhoom 3, to name just a few. Her dedication to her work and her charismatic screen presence have earned her the admiration of millions of filmgoers around the world. She dances like a dream and has some sizzling chartbuster numbers like Sheila Ki Jawani, Chikni Chameli, and Kala Chashma to her credit. Forbes has listed her in their top 10 list of India's best-known entertainers. And last year, her wax statue was installed at Madame Tussauds in London. In recognition for being one of the most successful and popular Bollywood actors, and for a string of successes which rank among the highest grossers at the box office, may I request Mr. Nitin Gadkari to present the Smita Patil Memorial Award to Ms. Katrina Kaif. Okay, we'll give all of you a chance to get Katrina, I just read the audience's mind and they're telling me, step aside, Reena, we're trying to hear Katrina. Over to you.
Good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, I'd like to thank all our extremely distinguished guests who I'm having the privilege, thank you, of sitting alongside this afternoon. Thank you very much for the honor of inviting me here. I'm very happy to be here. There's just a few things that I would like to say. Firstly, I believe the world of cinema, not only Indian cinema, is often called a man's world. It is changing, but the change is slow. So I believe it's a matter of great pride that we have an award that acknowledges and recognizes the contribution of women to cinema. This award honors the memory of one of the greatest and the most accomplished actors, whose roles served as an inspiration in the lives of millions of women. As an actor, the love of the people is the biggest reward of all. But when there is recognition from the industry in the form of an award, for me it's very overwhelming. I believe the most important thing in art is truth, and I can promise that my attempt is truthful and sincere to the craft, which has largely given me my purpose in life over the last few years. The one thing I do hope is that I can continue to make the audience who has given me so much love and support over these last few years, I hope that I can continue to make them proud of me and to deserve their support and their love as they has always given me. I'd like to thank the jury for this recognition, and I'd like to accept this award on behalf of every woman who seeks to excel in her field of work. I read something very interesting that I thought was very beautiful. It is said that women hold up half the sky. And I think it is women like Smita ji who show us that not even the sky is the limit. So I'd like to thank you all very much for this award, and it was a pleasure being here this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katrina. We wish you all the very best for your upcoming films, and may you continue to entertain people around the world with all your wonderful performances. I mentioned earlier we have a very special invitee with us today. As winner of Campus Princess 2015 pageant, Ms. Afreen Rachel Vaz got a direct entry into Femina Miss India 2015. She was crowned Femina Miss India Supranational in 2015 and went on to win the international title of Miss Supranational Asia and Oceania. She's a medical student currently in her final year and is actively working on promoting early detection of breast cancer in rural India. It is our pleasure to have her here with us this afternoon, and I'd like to request Ms. Vaz to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and the dignitaries on the dais. I feel really overwhelmed standing here and talking to you after such wonderful people have just spoken such wonderful things. I want to share a story with you, which I think many people are aware of, but I found it interesting. In 1984, a very accomplished and talented Kathak dancer, Miss Anila Sundar, I think her name was, really wanted to showcase her talent to the world. Unfortunately, she wasn't from the most fortunate backgrounds and did not know how to go about showing this talent to the world. And at that time, she came across a group of people, like-minded individuals, who approached Mr. Rupani, and what followed was a series of discussions and meetings which resulted in the Priyadarshini Academy. I think I represent the population that benefit from this academy. I did win a national title, and I went on to win the international title. However, I believe that first and foremost, I'm a student of medicine and surgery, a student of classical dance, and a student of Hindustani theatre. So when I stand here, I'm trembling because I'm a student of those things that these wonderful gentlemen and women have become a master of. Priyadarshini Academy allows people like me, my brothers and sisters of various fraternities, to become successful. And the quote that was said earlier today, just a little bit earlier than me, that success is our birthright, not just a monopoly of few, is the very quote that Priyadarshini Academy stands for. And it's an academy which is holistic in the way that its scholarships benefit us as academics, but also recognize artists and recognize people that are trying to make a difference and contribute in a way that is immense and permanent. And for the honor that the Priyadarshini Academy has invited me to be here and to be part of such a wonderful dais, all I want to say is, if I could have a time machine and I went back to Poland where I was representing India, and the international jury asked me, Miss India, you say that India is a great nation. What makes it so great? Oh, I had a wonderfully rehearsed answer thanks to Miss Sabira Merchant, who is a brilliant teacher. But if that was to happen again, I would say, look to my left. These are my countrymen. Get to know them, and you will get to know my country. Thank you.
We were just trying to connect with Mr. Piyush Goyal. We're going to keep trying. There's a technical issue that we're dealing with. He is unfortunately at a meeting in Delhi and could not be here in person, but he is going to still try and connect with us. Let me know if the link is established. Okay, I will continue then. I will introduce him later, assuming that he is able to come online with us. It is my privilege to introduce the chief guest for this afternoon. A visionary, an able administrator, an iconic leader, a performer par excellence, one of the greatest men in Indian politics. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Nitin Gadkari. Initiation of the Bandra-Worli Sea Link, early completion of mega projects like the Mumbai-Pune Expressway and the network of 55 flyovers in Mumbai, providing road connectivity to more than 13,000 villages in Maharashtra. These are only some of his many accomplishments. As part of his current role as Union Minister of Road Transport, Highways and Shipping, he is on a mission to transform Amchi, Mumbai into a world-class city. He is an integral part of the BJP government, and we are absolutely honored to have him as our chief guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Nitin Gadkari.
डॉक्टर माशेलकर जी, नानिक रूपानी जी, निरंजन हीरानंदन जी, ऑल रिस्पेक्टेबल डिग्निटीज ऑन द डायस, और सभी मेरे मित्रों, सबसे पहले मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि करीब 12 साल पहले जब मैं महाराष्ट्र सरकार में मंत्री था, तब मुझे एक अच्छा अवसर मिला और मुंबई पुणे एक्सप्रेस हाईवे, 55 फ्लाईओवर्स, वर्ली बांद्रा सी लिंक प्रोजेक्ट ये शुरू करने का सौभाग्य उस समय मिला। मैं तो उस कामों को भूल गया क्योंकि सरकार बदल गई, पर उसके बाद में प्रियदर्शनी एकेडमी ने मुझे इसी कार्यक्रम में बुलाकर मुझे पुरस्कार दिया। ये बात मैं कभी भूल नहीं सकता। आजकल तो मैं मुंबई में नहीं रहता हूँ, दिल्ली में रहता हूँ, और एक्सप्रेस हाईवे से भी और बड़े बड़े एक्सप्रेस हाईवे अब बनाने का सौभाग्य मुझे मिल रहा है। मैं दिल्ली से जयपुर और दिल्ली से कटरा श्रीनगर तक भी एक्सप्रेस हाईवे का काम अब कर रहा हूँ, और उसमें से अब बड़ौदा से मुंबई एक्सप्रेस हाईवे का काम इसी साल हम शुरू कर रहे हैं। और एक्सप्रेस हाईवे के नेटवर्क में मुंबई पुणे के एक्सपीरियंस ने मुझे बहुत सिखाया है। मैं नानिक रूपानी जी को इस बात के लिए धन्यवाद दूंगा कि हमारे देश में अनेक लोग अच्छा काम करते हैं, सरकार में काम करते हैं, सरकार के बाहर भी करते हैं, कोई साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में करते हैं, कोई फिल्म में अच्छा काम करते हैं, पर इन सब लोगों को रिकॉग्नाइज करना, इनको रिस्पेक्ट करना, ये बहुत आवश्यक है। सरकार में एक बात होती है, कोई किसी भी पार्टी की सरकार हो, अच्छे काम करने वालों को सम्मान नहीं मिलता और बुरे काम करने वालों को कभी सजा नहीं मिलती। तो सरकार की ये विशेषता रही है। पर नानिक रूपानी जी और प्रियदर्शन एकेडमी ने वर्ल्ड के अनेक बड़े बड़े लोगों को, मुझे याद है इंडोनेशिया की पूर्व राष्ट्रपति, उनको भी पुरस्कार दिया, जापान के प्रधानमंत्री है उनको भी दिया, और वर्ल्ड में जिन्होंने अच्छा काम किया है ऐसे सभी लोगों को प्रियदर्शनी एकेडमी ने रिकॉग्नाइज किया, उनका रिस्पेक्ट किया। और केवल टैलेंट जो है उनको रिस्पेक्ट करना, अवार्ड देना इतना ही नहीं, तो एजुकेशन के क्षेत्र में अनेक लोगों को उन्होंने स्कॉलरशिप दी, और लगातार ये जो पॉजिटिव सोशल वर्क है ये प्रियदर्शनी एकेडमी की ओर से सतत हो रहा है। अब ये इतिहास बहुत दिनों का है। मुझे याद है कि हमारे मलबार हिल पर एक सह्याद्री करके एक रेस्ट हाउस महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट ने बनाया है। मैं कभी कभी कहता हूँ कि ताजमहल से भी अच्छा है, कभी आप अंदर से जाओगे तो बहुत सुंदर है। तो इसको भी बनाने का सौभाग्य मुझे मिला। तो उस समय एक बार जब वर्ल्ड में सभी लोग यहाँ आए थे, तो मुझे नानिक भाई ने कहा कि सबको भोजन के लिए सह्याद्री पर बुलाना है। तो मैंने उनको कहा आप चिंता मत करिए। तो उस समय जो मंत्री थे उन्होंने कहा कि सरकार में ये परमिशन नहीं मिल सकती। तो नानिक भाई को कहा कि सरकार तो मंत्री चलाते, सेक्रेटरी नहीं चलाते, आप मेरे पास आओ, मैं आपको 5 मिनट में परमिशन दूंगा। और मैंने तुरंत उनको परमिशन दिलाई, और उस समय वर्ल्ड के अनेक देशों के अच्छे लोग आए थे। उनका सत्कार महाराष्ट्र सरकार की ओर से भी हुआ था और हमको महाराष्ट्र सरकार की ओर से हमने सबको भोजन भी दिया था सह्याद्री पर। उस समय, उसके पहले हमारे उस समय के मुख्यमंत्री मनोहर जोशी और मैं और कुछ लोग हम विदेश टूर पर भी गए थे। नानिक भाई भी हमारे साथ थे। हम इंडोनेशिया, सिंगापुर, मलेशिया, जापान अनेक देशों में गए थे और उनके बहुत इंटरनेशनल कनेक्शन अच्छे थे। महाराष्ट्र के लिए इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए उन्होंने बहुत कोशिश की और इसलिए स्वाभाविक रूप से एक अच्छे सोशल वर्कर और एजुकेशन और सोशल वर्क के इसमें अच्छा काम करने वाले एक सामाजिक कार्यकर्ता के रूप में उनका परिचय पूरे देश को है। और मुझे इस बात की खुशी है कि लगातार प्रियदर्शनी एकेडमी की ओर से जो भी ऐसे टैलेंटेड लोग हैं, जो पूरे वर्ल्ड के अच्छे अच्छे काम करने वाले साइंटिस्ट हैं, फिल्मों में काम करने वाले कलाकार हैं, साहित्यिक है, पत्रकार हैं या पॉलिटिशियन हैं, जो भी अच्छा टैलेंट है उसको रिकॉग्नाइज करना, ये काम एकेडमी ने हर समय किया है। और ये केवल 2, 4, 5 साल चल के ये कार्यक्रम ख़त्म नहीं हुआ, अनेक सालों से ये कार्यक्रम चल रहा है और आगे भी इसी प्रकार से चलता रहेगा, ये मेरा विश्वास है। आज के इस समारोह में बहुत ही समाज में जिन्होंने अच्छा काम किया है, ऐसे सभी व्यक्तियों को गौरवान्वित किया गया है और निश्चित रूप से जिन्होंने अच्छा काम किया है, इसका सबसे फ़ायदा यही होता है कि जो लोग उनके कार्य की तरफ देखते हैं तो उनको लगता है हमने भी ऐसा कुछ करना चाहिए, ये हमने भी ऐसा कुछ करना चाहिए। द इंस्पिरेशन एंड मोटिवेशन है, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है। और समाज में जब सोशो इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म होगा, क्वालिटेटिव रिफॉर्म होगा, तो समाज में कितने लोग अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं इसी के आधार पर हो सकता है। और ऐसे गुणात्मक परिवर्तन के लिए लगातार ऐसे अच्छे कार्य करने वाले लोगों को गौरवान्वित करना और ऐसे अच्छे कार्य करने वाले लोगों की संख्या बढ़ाने से ही हमारा समाज और देश और मजबूत होने वाला है। प्रियदर्शनी एकेडमी का ये कार्य आगे भी ऐसे ही चलता रहेगा और जो ऐसे टैलेंटेड लोग हैं उनको गौरवान्वित करता रहेगा, ये मेरा विश्वास है। आज के इस समारोह में जिन लोगों को विशेष रूप से गौरवान्वित किया गया है, वो बहुत अच्छा कार्य उन्होंने उनके क्षेत्र में किया है। उनको सबकी उज्जवल भविष्य की कामना करते हुए मैं अपने तरफ से उनको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं और शुभेच्छाएं देता हूँ। और प्रियदर्शन एकेडमी को ये कार्यक्रम आयोजन हर साल करके ये जो रिकग्निशन, रिस्पेक्ट जो ये अच्छे लोगों को वो देते हैं, इसके लिए उनके प्रति धन्यवाद देकर मैं अपनी बात को समाप्त करता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
Not connected. Okay, so we're unable to connect with Piyush, no problem. May I request the Vice Chairman of Priyadarshini Academy and Chairman of Global Insurance, Mr. Prabodh Thakkar, to wrap up the proceedings and propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rinaji. Before I do my duty of vote of thanks, may I request all of you to please stand back for national anthem after this. Nitin ji, आपने बहुत सही कहा कि the purpose of this award ceremony, it really encourages people to do the right things. And Nanik ji, year after year, 35 years, I think that is perhaps little more than the average Indians. Around 65% of our populations are below 30. And perhaps that your 35 years of goodwill is at play today. And I must thank first of all, not Mr. Nanik Rupani, the first lady of Priyadarshini Academy, without whose sacrifice, without whose support, Nanik would not have done what he would have done. And that is Geeta Rupani ji. And of course, Niranjan Hiranandani has done my job so, yes, of course, okay. नहीं तो फिर वो दोनों को देना पड़ेगा. You can't be partial. Mrs. Hiranandani as well. और आपका भी Mrs. Hiranandani, we know the support that Niranjan gets. He doesn't appreciate openly, I know that. So Thank you, Niranjan. And now who will do it to Mrs. Hiranandani? Yeah. Maybe Geeta ji, the appreciation to Mrs. Hiranandani as well. Niranjan is not easy man, though he made my task very easy. His duty was to welcome everybody, but he also thanked everybody. So he has been very kind to me. Mrs. Hiranandani, please. Give a big applause, ladies and gentlemen. मैं हमेशा ये सोचता हूँ कि ऐसे फंक्शनों में या कोई भी फंक्शन हो तो एक ट्रेडिशन है कि हम बड़े बड़े लोगों को लाते हैं, बड़े मंत्रियों को लाते हैं. All successful people we do it. And I asked somebody why this is a tradition. And somebody quoted to me a very beautiful thing. A quote from Bhagavad Gita which says, Yadada charati shreshthast deve taro janah sa yat pramana kurute lokastadanu vartate. जो जो समाज में श्रेष्ठ लोग करते हैं उसका अनुकरण समाज को करते हैं. तो नितिन जी आप, सुरेश जी आप, मिस्टर बजाज, who is who? I mean, I can go on, and all the people on the dais. I think everybody here is a game changer, a life changer, and similar people are, reflected in the audience as well. So Priyadarshini Academy is very proud, very thankful to each one of you to be with us today. And the proceeding is progressing so beautifully from afternoon to evening, and that cannot be without the hard work, the endless amount of hard work, pain and procedure that the staff of Priyadarshini Academy, you know and you don't know. So give them a big hand to each one of them. This is not an easy task to do year after year for 35 years without any controversy. And Nanik Rupani and Niranjan both have a competition of raising the bar. So they don't compromise on anything. They believe in quality. And what do we say about our guest of honor and chief guest? We wish to thank our distinguished chief guest, Mr. Nitin Gadkari ji, and guest of honor, Mr. Suresh Prabhu, for honoring us by their presence and their and for their presence in the today afternoon from their busy schedule. They have shouldered very sensitive responsibility in the Union Ministry under the very dynamic leadership of our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. They have assumed the responsibility of transforming India into superpower. Both Gadkari ji and Prabhu ji have been associated with Priyadarshini academically, historically. Sri Suresh Prabhu ji is handling the biggest passenger railway in the world. Not many people realize it's one of the biggest railway system in the world for passengers. This is the first time. Normally railway is known for, the ministers are known for opening a factory in their constituencies. He is the first minister जो चिंता करते हैं सफाई की, जो चिंता करते हैं safety की. And I come from insurance background, so I know 80 paisa premium, only 80 paisa, ladies and gentlemen, when you travel in railway, he is providing 10 lakhs rupees sum insured. This is never thought of. This is the cheapest insurance in the world. And Nitin Gadkari ji, he has been the game changer. Not many people realize that Mumbai-Pune Expressway has been the trendsetter. And Mumbai-Worli Sea Link, this was unthinkable. When I had an occasion after, they lost the power in the state government, I said, Nitin ji, ye kabhi hoga kya ye Worli Sea Link? Though he was not in government, he says, Jarur hoga. It was not believable things. So we have such an honorable, such a dynamic game changer, and we are very proud of you, sir. We are indebted to all the awardees who have accepted our request to receive the awards and come from far and wide for this function, and also specifically thank the guests who have accompanied the awardees. Their presence is a great boost to our academy. We are thankful to the print and electronic media for covering this event. No words of appreciation and gratitude will be enough for our sponsorer who has spontaneously given their support, and not only this function, but also to every activity and academy. The sponsors, of course, are Hiranandani Group, Mahindra, Finolex, Atul Nishar Foundations, and the Global Free Press, Bright Advertising, Indian Express. The function was made possible by collective efforts by many agencies. I especially convey my sincere thanks to the management and staff of the Trident Hotel and the student volunteers from Jai Hind College. Bright Advertising has always been helping us by providing publicity through their hoardings of a prominent and a most visible location. As a token of our appreciation, may I request our chief guest, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, to kindly present a bouquet to Mr. Yogesh Lakhani, CMD, Bright Outdoor Media Limited, please. Give a big applause to ladies and gentlemen, and to save the time, may I also request, and mention the beautiful trophies for the awardees were designed and prepared by Glass Fusion Private Limited. In appreciation of this splendid work, I request Chief Guest, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, to kindly once again to present a bouquet to Mr. Kayur Patel. Mr. Patel, would you please come forward? Today's function was presented in a very pleasant and fluent manner by the Master of Ceremony, Mrs. Reena Rupani. We are very grateful to her, and I request the Chief Guest, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, to present a bouquet to her as well. Reena, what I would like to appreciate, that she did not forget to mention our martyr soldiers yesterday. Give her a big hand. She is a person, perhaps somebody will compete. Nanik Rupani in efficiency is Reena Rupani. Thank you, Reena, for everything. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, all of us being a wonderful audience. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you.
May I request all of you to please stand for the national anthem?
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नाम